All praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to all the Akim Buna pushing his word in sincerity and truth worldwide, and a sincere shalom to the elect. I want to get into this video here real quick. This happened earlier today, around 3, 2, something like that. You see what it says, all right? So, this is all over YouTube today, CNN, news broadcasts, right? Al Jazeera, all of that right there. But something I want to get real quick that, caught my eyes, which I had said right here, I'm wondering if the U.S. citizens will love U.S. if the war will be fought in their own country instead of somewhere else all the time, okay? And we know that, in Habakkuk chapter 2 tells you that he's in every man's land, okay? So, yeah, a lot of these leaders have said, even, what's that guy's name again? Fuck is his name, man? Zelensky or whatever, Ukraine. He goes, first us, wait till it's you, okay? And we already know the least of the flock shall draw them out. And you see how this is snowballed, all right? This is all prophecy, all right? So let's get into this real quick. The third war coming quickly, man. Iran attacks U.S. bases, all right? This is all prophecy, man. This is why the Lord said, keep your eyes peeled, you know what I mean? Because, let me go back to there, because we're looking for what? Let me see where it was. I was just there. Slakia, yeah. It says 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. And this is what we're looking. This is why we always say in the spirit, push the button. Because we're vexed with the conversation of the wicked, man. We hate this place, okay? This place is, not in accordance to, the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So let's get into this real quick. This ain't gonna be a long-winded lesson, because there's not much to say, man. We've been telling you from time. Okay, starting with our apostle elders, okay, that this place is going to be taken out, and the way it's going to be taken out, okay? Revelation 11 and verse 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Because remember, this man is only to rule for a short time. He's not to be ruling for a long, long time, all right? Let's get that real quick in Job. That the triumphant of the wicked is but for 20 is but for a moment, man. Job chapter 20 and verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed on earth, that the triumphant of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach onto the clouds, Salakia, yea, he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. And the eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. Okay? So we know, this is the end for this man. As it says here, knowest thou not of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumph of the wicked is short. Okay? Revelation, it tells you that he's got to go for that little season to deceive the nations. All right? So, going back into Revelation 11 and 14, that woe is coming quickly, okay? That destruction, all right? Let's go into Ezekiel, because the Lord has commissioned this for this place, man, this wicked place called Babylon, all right? Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 5. Thus saith Yahweh, power and evil, and only evil, behold, is come, and end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. And we're at the end, man. Okay? Brothers had mentioned, they said when World War II and 1 was kicking off, people then, they were just eating and drinking, getting into marriage, carrying on as all day. And then when it really, dawned off, like, yo, this shit is serious, yo. This shit is happening, Then they're like, oh, shit. Because they're not alert, right? They're in darkness. Bread and circus, entertainment. That's what they feed off of, right? So they're not alert to these things. And we are alert that we know, hey, the end is here, man. So when we see things like this, look, this is what the scriptures is telling you, man. This is what the Lord has purposed, okay? He has purposed this. Yep, exactly. Because those nations were weak at one point, all right? Remember, America was ruling up in every man's land, cutting them off from doing this, cutting them off from doing that. And now you see these nations have, somehow, some way, got the strength, mustered the strength to retaliate against America, right? Babylon, right? And link together and, become strong. As the scriptures is telling us right here, Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And this is what we're seeing. These guys never had that ability before. Now they have that ability. North Korea has the ability to strike the shores of America. Okay? So we're seeing this awakening. Okay? We're seeing, let the weak say I'm strong. This is all prophecy. Assemble yourselves and come hither, and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. Remember, these guys are going to be kicking off over there, right? Levant, those areas over there. They're going to be fighting, right? If I'm not mistaken, Levant. And, this is going directly into 2nd Ezra chapter 13, okay? Where they're all going to stop their, fighting with each other and try to fight against Yahweh Shai and the fleet, okay? But you're not going to win, okay? That's for sure. But the Lord has purposes. The Lord has purposes to let the weak say I'm strong, okay? So they could all be gathered in that one place and try to come and fight and battle it out. But guess what? The Lord was already, remember, this is his movie. He was already putting the pieces together, okay? And the pieces together ultimately too is to, let them strike Babylon, man. They're not just becoming strong for nothing. They're going to launch an attack on this place, man. Or Salaki on Babylon, all right? America. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16. And how do we know this? Because what the scriptures say, it is prophecy. Revelation 17 and 16. And 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Okay? Shall burn her with fire, man. They're gonna, we already know it's gonna be a nuclear attack upon this place, man. They're not going to be able to escape, okay? They're not going to be able to run left, right, or center, dodge, do any martial arts, kung fu. No, this place is going to be taken. And remember, the scriptures tell you that there is no knowledge, no wisdom, no understanding against the highest, man. This is what he has purposed. You're not with him making that movie. He made the movie, All right, simple and plain. Let's go to Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Why virgin? Because she hasn't been touched yet. Okay, she's about to be. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, because you're going to be hit. Okay, you're going to be hit with those, Isaiah chapter, was that 54? Talks about the smith that bloweth the fire, and the smith that bloweth the fire and the coals, if I'm not mistaken, roughly phrasing. And that's talking about the nukes, man. Isaiah 47 and verse 8. Verse 8. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, man. So you're not going to escape this. This is what the Lord has purposed for you. Okay? This is the Lord, he set you on that route. Okay? That route for destruction. That great sacrifice in Basra. Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. Going back into, is that 2 Peter 3? All the elements shall melt, right? And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Okay, this is going into Edom, and where's Edom's, kingship, or his capital right now? That Babylon, that the mixing of the wine, man, of the drinks. Okay, these different philosophies, and the other things that they were doing in the past. This is all here right now. Sodom and Gomorrah. This is why it's known as all these different places, right? Because they incorporated all these things into their wine, into their philosophy, into the way of their life. This is why it says that her sins have reached onto heaven and the Lord has remembered them. Okay? It's nothing new underneath the sun, man. Let's go to Job. And like we said, the Lord has purposed this. No, it's Job chapter, is it 5? No, it's 20. It's lucky, Job 20. Job chapter 20 and verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked laborers, okay, when you go into that word, it says laborers, shall come upon him. If I'm not mistaken, Salakia, it should be laborers. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So while he thinks that he's getting this, MOTB in place and all that, like he's about to, yes, I'm about to crown myself God. The Lord has another, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has another route for you, okay? When some people are about to eat their cake, or how do they say, something, and have your cake too, and then they look up and they, about to put that slice in their mouth, and they see flies and maggots in there, like, yeah, that's what the Lord is going to do to you, man. But those flies and maggots is going to be fucking nuclear thermonuclear fireman, and shall rain upon him while he is eating. Verse 24, he shall flee from the iron weapon. What's that going into? A lot of these guys are going to go into what? They're bonkers. Okay? But Jeremiah chapter 16 and 16 talks about the fishers of men, and then hunters. And then Isaiah chapter 2 and 24 talks about us going into Slakia, Lord, will we be the elect, going into those bunkers and ripping them out and tearing them out. Okay? So when he is about to fill his belly, Slakia, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Nuclear destruction. Okay? It is drawn and cometh out the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places, but a fire not blown shall consume him. What the hell you think that's talking about? That's talking about thermonuclear destruction, man. Okay? It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Yeah, all these splotches and, what do you call that? Nuclear winters, blotting out the sky, the sun and shit. Everybody who's around that plate. That's why I say even in, it talks about the angels holding back the winds. Because I remember the apostle elders were talking about that. But you can't, there will be no water, nothing. There will be nothing for you to, it won't be safe out here in Babylon, man. Okay? Or Slakia in Babylon. Because we're in Canada, I keep, as much pangs and pain that they did to the Gad, you know what I mean? They're still going to get theirs too, all the Edomites up here. But let's continue. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. I think this is also in heaven and earth shall meet. I think that's in I can't remember. It's either in Habakkuk. I think it's in Habakkuk, if I'm not mistaken. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and the heritage appointed unto him by Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. And now the thing is too, when you go into Job chapter, 21 and 30, it tells you what? That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Okay? And also Proverbs 16 and 4. Okay? So there's nothing you can do, Esau. This is all prophecy. You're going to be destroyed. Your land, your sweet little, virgin daughter Babylon is going to be destroyed, man. It's going to be touched, all right? For all the wickedness that you have done against the children of Israel. Plus, okay? So, hey, push the button, man. Go ahead. Push the button. You right now, you talking about Iran is in a clutch and they only have certain cards. You have no cards, okay? Simple play. You got no cards, Trump. Nero, all right? So, hey, with that, all praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh. Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to all the Akim doing and pushing his word in sincerity and truth worldwide. And a sincere shalom to the elect. I hope you're edified. Lord willing, till the next time. Abad Babam. Shalom.